Good evening, everybody. It's Mr. Pineapple, aka Terrence Ramses. How's everybody doing today? It's been a productive week out here in Sunnyside, Florida. Man, it's been so hot out here. I'm hot right now. Man, this we had a couple of days where it was raining and it cooled down, and then now back to this heat wave again. But other than that, everything is good, man. I hope all is well. In this segment, man, we're going to have another phenomenal guest, and we're going to be having a great time on this live, man. I'm talking about, man, there's going to be some things that we're going to talk about from a business perspective, coaching perspective, personal perspective. We're going to be sharing some stories and testimonies on this live. But before we get into this, I am the CIO of the Royal Blossom Company, which is the clothing brand adjacent to the Royal Blossom podcast. And our mission is to restore, build, and create. To restore all the wealth and resources that have been lost in our communities, to build up the youth and children that are coming behind us, to create a unique commonwealth of like-minded entrepreneurs, put them back in their God-given purpose and talents. And our brand values is to be fun, spirited, and passionate about everything that you do. So quick brand updates. We still have these amazing summer deals until August 31st. Okay, we're going to have the Mix and Match Dad Hats 5 for $100. Mix and Match 5 for $100. Okay, so the promo code is automatically added at checkout. It's on the website. Also, if you want to make your purchase $50 or more, we're also offering that free shipping option as well. $50 or more, excluding pre-order items. So we're going to go ahead and get that to you as ASAP. Here's another one of our vintage dad hats. Is the Caribbean-based Rhythm Dad Hat. We have a few different ones. We can mix and match any of the bucket hats, dad hats, all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the website up here. And that website is www.royalblossomcommunity.co. Go ahead and scan the code right here. And it's going to take you right over here to the website, okay? So go ahead and scan that code and go ahead and go to the website. Not going to spend too much time showing too much footage today because we got a lot to cover. So, but I wanted to go ahead and get into the private label stuff. So my private label consulting agency is called Fashion Silk Pay Loft, or Fashion Loft Silk Pay. Okay, so this is a fashion agency that's going to be able to do logos, private label services, private label as far as garments you concerned, like t-shirts, hats, bucket hats, suits, dresses, work uniforms, anything that you need, one-on-one coaching. And also we have packages as well. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the packages from this PowerPoint as well. So Fashion Loft Silk Pay goal is to guide you no matter where you are in your fashion career, or just simply creating your own shirts, garments for your own business function or event. No matter where you go on the planet, from the east to the west, from the north to the south, we're going to help you get there with the proper expertise. Okay, so that's the mission of our brand right there. So we have the different levels. We have the students and young professionals. So these packages comes with similar other options like the other packages that we have to offer. The difference is this is more so tailored to like our college students, our high school students, and the students. We're offering an amazing promotion right now, 70% off the actual cost for the design services and the logos and all that, because we want them to go ahead and start their fashion brand without a lot of strain and capital. Because one of the things is with starting a fashion brand, it costs you $100,000 to really start it up the right way with prototypes, tech packs, and a few other different things, and sampling and brand logo, brand identity, and all of that stuff. So it comes with the coaching, logo design, and brand creation. And here's some of our price points. So the E-Swing would be the first tier, is the most recommended tier. In order for you to access the other tiers, you would actually have to do this East tier. So it includes 90 days of coaching, 3 hours a week, map out a vision and purpose, design concept, help with social media and brand awareness. So that's just basically getting your brand up and going, social media, and identifying what's your purpose with the vision, who you're talking to. The next tier is the West Wing. We're going to start designing your prototypes, your creation, your measurement charts, your color codes, your samples, your supplier communications will go through me. You'll do your marketing promos as well with me as well, and I'll be able to help you with that. Then you have your South Wing. Your South Wing is tier 3. You will have content creation, caption hooks, SEO, pre-order strategy, pop-up shop, launch party. We'll help you with shipping and handling, overseeing with production, brand ambassador growth. So we'll basically show you how to market your brand, how to engage with the public, engage with the community, engage with other people as well, to how to grow your brand in the community exponentially. Okay. And we'll have the North Wing, which is the most important wing, which is like the North Star, the North Wing. So you have the brand box creation, sales strategy, connections in fashion, deep dive into fashion education, 4 days of coaching, 1 hour, and taglines. That's for the young students and professionals. And then we have the small business and family professionals. It's the same, pretty much it's the same thing, but the difference is I call it the East Loft, West Loft, North Loft, and South Loft. This one has a little bit more content details for building your own brand and building this private label as well. So yeah, with this one you'll have 90 days of coaching sessions, 3 hours a week, a deep dive on vision and purpose, design concepts up to 3 revisions, logo creation and brand awareness and identity. We also have the West Loft, design type, prototype creation, measurement charts, color code, supplier communication, and marketing promos with this as well. And this one is the South Loft. As you see, is content creation, caphood, SEO. As you can read, well, it's pretty much the same thing. Also, the total cost for this program is like $6,100. Let's go back to this one. This one is about $1,800 for this one. No, this one is about $2,400 for this package for the students. All together, there's also going to be payment plans, and this one is total $6,100. And then we have the individual private label services. We also have a big corporation one. Still working on those price points for that. But here's some of our individual private label services. So you got logo design, $125, t-shirt design, $50, bulk production. If you want like a big MOQ, that would be $3,000 for the private label. So for the bulk production fee. Then you have the custom label is $200. Custom hats starting at $15 a hat. If you want the direct supplier contact, $300 for the contact. Custom work uniform starting at $12. Tech back creation $150. Basic store setup with Shopify or any other site, depending on the complexity, starts at $150, and then it goes up from there. So, and then we also have a minimum designer fee of $200, and we have the coaching sessions, one-on-one, 3 hours a day, maximum $150 an hour. So we have that for those services for you to get started with that. So man, we're working on some great things. So there's many parts of RBC that's going on right now. So, but I want to go ahead and get into our guests. I know it's been a lot going on. So he is into some great things. He is a properly positioned author, so this is one of his books right here. Transform your leads with AI power. He also has another book right there on Amazon as well. And then I'm gonna bring on the other book a little bit later. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about this guy. This guy I've known for a long time. You know, we don't talk all the time, but every time we do talk, we go back to, when we first met. This our funny times that we spent together, and conversations over the years, man. It's about, growing the community, building brands, man. This man has been traveling all over the world with speaking engagements, and he just I've seen him expand his brand, man, and he's a amazing business owner, amazing family man, and he. I gotta let you tell this story, man. I'm coming from all the way from Zimbabwe. It's Mr. Cee Jay Business on the line, baby. What's
All
up,
right.
baby?
What's good? What's good? Thanks for
I
having me
can't
on the
even hear you.
show. Oh, no.
I can't hear you.
What happened to our sound?
Try
What
to
happened to
refresh
our
your
sound?
page.
All right. Let me refresh. You know if you can hear me.
Now I can hear you.
You can hear me? All right.
Yeah, I can.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks for having me on the show. What's good?
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, listen, that means you got a powerful word for the people, man. Because
No
he try
doubt.
to silence you. We not silencing you today.
No doubt. Excited
That's,
to be here.
I'm excited for you, man. It's good to see you again, man. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you from, a little bit about your background and in entrepreneurship and everything.
All right. Well, my name's CJ Best. I am Zimbabwean by birth, American by choice. I wasn't born in America, but I got here as fast as I could. And if you weren't born in America, you'd be trying to get here too.
True.
So background, I'm a AI business strategist, and I help businesses, executives with not only strategy when it comes to AI, which is my current line of work, but I'm a business strategist, period. So I started off in executive coaching, software engineering. And so I saw that there was an opening in sort of like corporate ladder. As I was climbing up the corporate ladder, I recognized that people who were up top didn't have an ability to communicate with the people down below. So I became the kind of bridge the gap guy. And that's how I got there.
Okay. Okay. And what's your passion in entrepreneurship and in business?
My passion is about making an impact in a way that makes a lot of money for myself and a lot of money for the people that I work with. So I'm passionate about impacting the lives of people with my gift and my talent. And it's not a complete job until I see them paid and I see myself paid. So I look at that as a passion or self-interest, and rather than selfishness, I look at that as a passion of self-interest that not only helps me to be able to position myself to be paid handsomely, by the way, but to also get the people who I get results for paid very well.
Okay, okay. So, how long have you been doing like executive coaching and AI business building?
So for about a decade now, I've been working with executives from an executive coaching standpoint. And that passage really started for me. I started off as a software engineer.
Okay,
So in software engineering, it means that you get to deal with more executives than you do uh, regular, staff on the job. So I could be working for a bank, and the people I deal with are going to be the CEO, the CIO, CFO, those folks, and they speak a different language to when you go now to speak to the regular people that are doing the actual work. So when I started out of college, I was working with executives from that standpoint. And I was looking at it like, oh, I can see there's a gap right here where these people are very, you know, vision directed because they're executives. And then I'm from a very technical standpoint. So I speak very technical terms so that I started, translating technical terms to them so that they understand what I mean from a regular, language standpoint so that they can transform that into a vision for their business. And then I realized that there was a need for a connection for both the top and the bottom. So I said, okay, so there's an open position here to be an executive coach for not only the top, but for the bottom too. So that's how I, morphed into executive coaching. Now, as I was in that area of business and operation, Around 2015, 16, there was a program called Amelia, which started off, which was an AI program. So they were coaching how to train Amelia as an AI program. And so it was sort of like a bank issued program. I started working on that and just, understanding it, growing, training it, understanding how that works. And once I had a good understanding of that, I started working on different projects that were AI based. But that's before we had open AI. So that would have been at least about, it would have been almost a decade before we had open AI. So I've been working in AI for a good long time now.
Okay. And what would you say some of the advantages of working in AI right now?
So I wouldn't even start from right now. I would start from back then. In order for you to really get AI, for someone who's just like, okay, what's the big deal about? From back then, you got to understand that you've been using AI, you just didn't know that you were using AI. For example, if I say Chase Bank, Netflix, um, you know, iPhone, any organization that you've likely used in the last 10 years has been using AI because they trained their models to be able to do this thing that you didn't know. So, for example, if you watch Netflix, your Netflix and my Netflix are going to show two different things in terms of what they recommend for us to watch. Why is that? It's because it's learning and then learning you and your habits and executing based on its understanding of your habits. And then it shows you and recommends movies and things for you to watch based on what it understands about your habits. Well, that's an AI training happening in the background of that. And it's been happening with iPhones, it's been happening with Netflix, it's been happening with organizations at large. The reason you didn't have it is because the models that were needed to train such a model, the data that was needed, was too broad and too big and too expensive for you and I to be able to do that. So a corporate organization could use that equipment, that data, because they had the data. So what's now happened with open AI, it has opened up an ability for you and I to use our data to create our own training for our AI, for our own AI tools. That's how now you can create things using your data for your pineapple and create that on AI because it's giving you that, that ability now. It would cost you thousands to be able to do that 10 years ago. Open AI opening that passage for you means that we now have an opportunity to do what conglomerates were able to do 10 years ago. So, what AI means right now is you and I are in a space where we can become millionaires and billionaires if we understand the importance of the precipice of where we stand in history right now in terms of being able to create financial wealth.
Just soaking that in, yeah, because I'm thinking about it. Like, that makes sense what you said about Netflix, because like it learns you, and I think I've seen this on social media. I see it all the time on like Amazon. I
Hmm.
see it on Facebook, Instagram. Like, by what you like and post and stuff, it just like reads what you're doing, and it gives you the suggested things and stuff like that to purchase. That makes perfect sense. I didn't even think about it from that perspective.
Hmm. And think about it like this, right? When I teach this to people who are non-technical, and I think a lot of people listening to this are going to be non-technical, I say that AI, artificial intelligence, is a network of computers, a big network of computers that listens, hears, learns, understands, and executes decisions and tasks based on what it has understood. So you see that it's a network of computers that listens, hears, learns, understands, and then it executes decisions and tasks based on what it has understood. So that sits right in alignment with what you just said. It's listening to you, it's learning you, and then it's executing decisions based on what you do. And that's what pretty much AI is going to be across the board. It's going to be learning your customer and then executing based on what they want.
Gotcha.
So whoever has the power to do that the most is the one who gets the most customers.
Got you. So tell us about your book. Tell about your book that you created on AI.
So the transform your leads with AI power. This book it became a necessity for business executives and people that are trying to be in business with getting more leads in their business. Now, when we talk leads, every business needs to have leads coming in so that they can convert those leads into customers. So this is a necessary tool for people who are in business. Well, what we were now saying with this book is how can you use AI power to multiply your leads? So here's an example. If your business, Pineapple, right now has 100 leads a month, and out of your 100 leads a month, you sell your product, one of your products, let's say it's $1,000, right? You convert 10% of the 100 leads that come in for $1,000 worth of a product. That means you're making what? $10,000 a month based on the fact that you're getting 100 leads, you're able to convert 10 of them. That's a 10% conversion rate multiplied by $1,000 worth of product. That's $10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get you 300 leads without you changing anything, if I can multiply your leads to 300 and you still convert at 10%, now you're making $30,000 because 30 people, you just increase your leads to 300, you're still converting at 10%, that makes 30%. At $1,000 each, you're now making $30,000 just by adjusting that one single factor in your business. So I'm saying in this book, look, if I can transform your leads to multiply your leads, even if your conversion rate doesn't change, just that one thing alone literally transforms your business and triples your income. But in this book, I touch more than just that. I touch on the fact that with AI, even though I can multiply your leads, I can also help you to multiply your conversion by giving you tools using AI that multiply your ability to convert those people that come in by doing the following things. For example, if you come to my website happens to have a chat box, meaning if you get me and I'm not there and I'm sleeping at night, it can communicate with you and sell you on a product while I sleep. If the website does not have that, well, what does that do? It means that I lose that customer because people are always asking buying questions. And if I ask a buying question and there is no one to answer, but I want to buy the thing tonight, I'm not going to wait for you to answer me tomorrow. I'm going to buy it tonight. Well, if I can use AI to do that, I double your business. So that's just two metrics that I cover. Now, there's four different metrics that we're not going to go into, but all of those metrics in this book will help to transform your business. That's why I said I want to make an impact in people's businesses so that they make a lot of money and I make a lot of money.
Okay. Hmm. Sound like a bet. So tell us about this book.
This book is winning government contracts step by step. The guide for small businesses. Now, this book was necessary for the following things. See, when I realized as a systems guy, what I do in systems is I try to make systems simple for the ordinary person to work with. That's why I train people to use AI. That's why I train people to use software because I've understood how to take software that's challenging for a lot of people. It kind of comes easy for me. So I use the software that I have, the abilities I have in software in making things simple. So simple a fifth grader could do it. So I saw an opportunity that fell on my lap as I was working with another organization, and they specialized in winning government contracts. As I was going through their process, I realized their process was so difficult, and they were paying people thousands to be able to do the process. I mean, they had one guy, they were paying him six figures just to get the contract. And I saw how much time it was taking him to be able to do it. And he might go through two or three contracts because of the amount of reading, the amount of red tape that appears to be there. So I said, how hard is this? So I took a challenge upon myself. I took one of the contracts, I looked at it, and then I broke it all down. Then I realized what used to take him 2 days or 3 days, I could do it in an hour based on the system that I had created. So I didn't want to, mess with his job, but I decided that I would take that system that I understood and use that for my own self. So I came out, designed a system, set it up, and put it in a book. It's called the Step-by-Step Guide for Guiding Small Businesses to be able to do the same thing. And then I did one more thing. I went ahead and started using my system to apply for government contracts, and boom, I started getting government contracts using the same system. I see. So what started is kind of like a mistake. I wouldn't say a mistake. It started as a uh, my desire to fix problems. I wanted to fix that problem. And once I fixed that problem, I realized, oh, this is a problem that many people have. And like I said in the beginning, my passion is impacting lives using my gift. My gift is in understanding systems and software. If I can see, a lot of people don't have, financial problems. They think they have financial problems. What they have is they have system problems. If your system problem is fixed, your financial problem becomes no problem. You see? So systems are where it's at. If your systems work, right now, your pineapple business, the thing that it might lack is the system that gets it to speak to all the people that are looking for you right now. Because there are thousands of people looking for your product. The reason they haven't found you yet is because the system isn't getting there yet. So when
Mm.
your system problem is fixed, there are already people looking to buy what you sell. They just don't know you yet. And how do they get to know you? Your system needs to run into speaking to those people directly.
Mm. Got you. How do we hire you?
So, AIbusinessmakeover.com. AIbusinessmakeover.com. That's where, people come in, they set a schedule. I explain on that website, on my funnel, what we do and how to help businesses to be able to get set up. And then we walk through your entire website, your entire funnel, your entire email list, and then we put it all into one place. Then we automate the whole thing so that you have your follow-up AI powered, you have your emails AI powered, you have your responses with your chatbots AI powered, and then we get your follow-up AI powered. Because one of the biggest things in businesses that businesses fail to do is to follow up when someone actually hits them up asking for a business. So now we set up those four things, and once we've got those things set up, then we say, okay, how can we get you to post more consistently so that you post one time and every one of your channels gets your post? How can we get you to create ads that speak to your actual audience? How can we get you to create emails that have a more open conversion rate so that your click rate increases and you get to communicate with more of your customers? So if you can do those four things, you're going to be able to fulfill your orders. In fact, you're going to have a challenge fulfilling the orders because the orders are going to shoot through the roof. So it's AI business, AI business, www.aibusinessmakeover.com. And there you can set up an appointment. We'll talk to you, do a complimentary walkthrough of your business, and you can be able to set it up so that we set your business up with AI, and you can be able to transform your business into the future.
Got you. How long does your process usually take?
The process depends on the business. The last business we had was a floral business. They got two floral. It's a florist with businesses in two big cities, Houston and Dallas, and so they operate from their phone. And so all of their customers they're on their phones. We had to find all of their customers, take all of that information, put it all into one place, all into one CRM, make sure that that CRM is functioning properly, and that all of their communications are now going from one place where they can text it on their phone, but they communicate with each customer and each customer by their name, so that it may be a generic email, but it goes to each individual customer by their name. And if they want to send a message, they can send a message specifically to each customer by name using AI, even though it's a video recording of them. So we've done that. And doing that process took us about 4 days to do, because it's not only just that we needed to set them up with a funnel that represented two different locations, and set them up with their emails and email communications that also represent two different communications, two different customer styles. So one of them was a premium customer who wants to buy, who doesn't matter, who doesn't care if it's a $10,000 item, they just want what they want. The language for that customer is very different from a customer who says, well, how much are the flowers? So,
Right.
so we had to speak to those two different clients in a different way. So that took us 4 to 5 days to be able to create all of that and then install the system and then hand it over to them and train them on how to do that on day 5 or day 6. And then now they're functioning. So that type of process, it's a small business that does at least $10 million a year. We look at that business like a small business. There are businesses that do $30 million, $40 million a year. Now they are talking data. Now they are talking, these businesses are doing big money. So their data is going to be large. It's not like you're going to run through that data within a week. That's going to take months to be able to do businesses like that. So I don't expect that we would get a business who's doing $30 million hit us up through this website. But I expect that whenever we do our ads, we specifically target businesses that are only interested in contracts that run from 40 that work contracts for a business that's earning 40 to $50 million a year. So the language is going to be very different. And
Okay.
also the work that's going to go into it is going to be different. The kind of approach we take to those businesses is going to be different.
That sounds like a good deal, man. I gotta definitely check it out. I'm gonna wrap it up with you when you get off about that. So tell us, because you explained it so well, I don't even got no follow up question. So explain this book right here.
Becoming the CEO of your life. Now, you notice that if you look at my books, all of them are about something completely different from each other, but the same author. And here's why that is. I am a lifelong learner. And when I get into something, I want to be able to understand it enough to become an authority in the field. So, Becoming the CEO of Your Life was my first book. So, in this book, I was talking about potential, the secrets to exposing your hidden potential. The reason I was writing that is because I had come from a place where I was trying to say, how can I? People tell me that I've got potential, but I don't know how to expose that potential so that I can fully become the person that they think I should become. Have you ever been talking to people and they say to you, man, I see so much potential in you. Like you could do so much. And you say, I get it, but what do I need to do to be able to expose that potential? And nobody could tell me that. So I felt like this was the ceiling. This was me. I had hit that ceiling and I couldn't get above it. How could I get from here to up here? So I said, okay, I need coaching. I need to learn to get beyond where I am. Because whenever you are in a situation where you want to do something, but you're procrastinating, the reason you procrastinate about anything is because you want to pay attention to this part. Any procrastination you have is because you don't have the skill that it takes to do the next thing that you're supposed to do. So because you don't have the skill, you keep saying, well, I'm going to do that next time. But if you just recognize that, okay, the reason I'm procrastinating is because I don't have the skill to get me there, you would just ask a different question. You would say, who has the skill to get me there? And then
Mm,
the person who has the skill to get you there will come in and say, oh, I know what you need. You need this. So my question was, how can I expose my hidden potential? I found John Maxwell. And I paid John Maxwell $10,000 so that I could expose my hidden potential. And then he helped me step by step, understanding the law of intentionality. How do you go to understanding the law of intentionality? How do you go from procrastinating to just doing the thing? How do you use your mind to be a successful mind thinker? How do you take creative ideas and make them better? How do you take a group of people and help them to work better with you? How do you lead yourself as an individual, let alone leading other people? How do you lead yourself, right? Your own 6 levels of leadership. How do you go from leading yourself to leading other people to leading volunteers to leading experts, right? How do you do that? So when I was entering the field of software engineering, the reason I could pay John Maxwell $10,000 was because when I started software engineering, they gave me $20,000 as a sign-on bonus. So I said, all right, well, I'm not going to spend $20,000. What can I do to grow? I recognize that immediately. Like I am already, I'm up here, with it. There's no way I'm going to work with these executives and remain who I was. So who was I? I was do rag, baggy jeans, right? so, so I'm looking at it like I know the environment where I'm in now. I am not gonna make it if I stay who I am. So a friend of mine who had worked with John Maxwell said, "Man, John Maxwell gonna be in your city. Go see John Maxwell." So I paid John Maxwell the $10,000 it took for his mentorship, and he mentored me. By the time I got back to my organization, man, the world opened up for me. Like promotions were opening up for me. How I communicated with people was completely different. John Maxwell was teaching you how to speak properly to people, how to speak properly with leadership, how to lead yourself, and how to coach executives and coach other people. That's how that shifted for me. So when I did that, then I put up a book that says, "How did I do that?" So all my books about how did I do that as an authority figure in the field. That's why I said when I wrote the winning government contracts, I had broken down the system and said, "Oh, this is the system." When I wrote the book, transform your, leads with AI power, I had used that to grow my own personal business and helped other businesses to do that because I had been doing it since 2015. Like, how do I use that? So I put that in a book so that it's easy for someone else to say, "Oh, so that's how he did it. I know how I can do it." That's the book. Oh yeah. Does that make sense now that I explained that?
Go ahead and get the book, people. Oh man, like
Absolutely.
his the stuff that he's saying is so profound to where I don't normally I have a lot of follow up questions, but you have done, which is good. Um, I want to say this to the audience: it's good to articulate yourself so well to where you answer questions for people, and doing this from an investment point of view. So when you're going for like bank loans and investments, this is the way you speak.
That's
You,
right.
you articulate yourself so well to where how much you need.
That's right.
All right, where do I send the money? That's what we're looking for.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
that's
That's
true.
perfect. Um, I think the last couple of questions I have: do you have any engagements coming up, or do you have any movie projects coming up?
So this one is really big for me because we talked about it earlier. I've got I, AI. What AI has done for me personally is it's put me in a place where everything that I used to dream of that I couldn't do because either it was resources or lack of knowledge or lack of time, I can now do because I can do it at a fraction of the time, at a fraction of the cost. So I started putting together movies using AI. I mean, things that would take a whole production crew and thousands of dollars to create, I can now create with $50 in 2 hours. So I started to create a story of an African folk, kind of like a telltale story from the heroes of the past, and I'm telling that story in our voice, in our generation, the way that we want to tell that story. So I know the history of it, has us in chains, has us begging, has us, in places of weakness. But the way we're telling the story is we're telling it from a position of power. Why? Because we have the pen now. We can write the stories that we heard about our ancestors in the way that we want to tell them, that we're supposed to tell them. And when you watch movies like Napoleon, they tell the stories the way that they need to tell them. We can't be mad at them. We got to tell the story the way we need to tell it. And so I'm making a movie. The first one I'm doing is called Kaguri, uh, the last, standing heroes of Zimbabwe. And we're telling a story of how he started the revolution that would lead to a liberated Zimbabwe. And we're telling it from our pen, our own viewpoint. So, and the important thing about it is for the first time in my life, I have become very clear that we don't need to go to Netflix or go to TV or go to any other platform, that we can reach the audiences ourselves using AI or using platforms like YouTube. But certainly, we don't need to wait for partnership from Netflix or from any other TV stations. We now have the tools by generating leads with our leads power, by being able to create the movies ourselves without paying thousands of dollars in staff, without going out and seeking to rent a whole movie joint. We can do all that now with AI and AI alone. And what it's going to do is it's simply going to change and shift the platform of creativity in terms of we watched the recording industry go from partnership to permission based, where if you didn't have the rap voice that was suitable to be on Def Jam, you couldn't be a rapper, to if you had the ability to put your song on Napster, you could be a rapper. And then to, oh, now you can be anyone you want and put your song up and it goes up against Beyonce in 2 days. The platform used to be so untouchable. Now the movie industry is about to go through its own process of the music industry, where it used to be this untouchable. Now you are about to have me creating my movie, you creating your movie, everyone who knows the tools and cares to learn them creating their movie, to the point where I might not wait to hire anyone. I might do the movie myself. What that means is in 5 years, if you have wised up with the time that we're in, understanding and learning the AI that we're learning right now, that we're teaching right now, if you understand that, you are in a place to create wealth not only for yourself, but for your generation. Why is that? Because we went through the agricultural revolution. You needed to have land to be wealthy. And then we went through the industrial revolution. You needed to know how to make the machine work in order for you to be wealthy. That was Henry Ford in them. And then we went through the Walmart generation, the distribution. If you had the product in your store, then you became the wealthy person because you had distribution, you had the rail lines, you had the store. And then we went through the Amazon information technology, which got me into software engineering. If you had the information, you were the Google, the Yahoo, you were that person. You became the wealthy person because you had the information. We went into the partnership age, where if you were Amazon and you said, bring your book and I can sell it for you to my audience, you get 30, you get 70%, I get 30. But because I get 30 of all hundred thousands of you, I become the most, wealthy billionaire in the world. Well, now we are at that place again. The place we're now in is if you know AI and you know how to work it, you don't need anyone else to become a billionaire. This is that age right now. Literally, I've given you 5 different revolutions where people became wealthy. The people who are going to miss this, what I'm teaching right now, are going to be the ones who missed out on learning what we are teaching right now. So I'm going to put these websites up where we're teaching these things, and people will be able to grasp these. But if you see me in 5 years, if you see me in 5 years, I'll be so close to $1 billion. It's going to be amazing. In 5 years, I'm going to be this close to $1 billion if I'm not already there. And that's how much I believe. Like I'm like sometimes I don't even get enough sleep just thinking about the ideas of things that I'm going to do in the morning because of this. To be able to write a book, like as an example, it took me 7 months, 8 months to write the first book that I showed you, right? The first book you got from me. But it took me 2 hours to write the book for leads because now I was using AI. It took me an hour to write the book that I used for the winning government contracts. Something that took me 7 months before, I could do in 2 hours. That tells you something. A movie used to take a whole year, 2 years. I did this movie in a length of about 2 hours. That changes everything. What if I could do 10 of them? That changes everything.
How do the people find you?
So to find me, um, AIbossmoves.com. AIbossmoves.com would be the best place to find me, or AI Business Makeover. We can put these on the screen. AIBusinessMakeover.com. Those are the two places. If you're in business and you want to get your business checked out and you want to see, are you AI ready, then AIBusinessMakeover.com. But if you want to train and learn AI yourself so that you can make the ads, make the movies, make the media that you need, and learn it yourself, then it's AIBossMoves.com.
Mm. Trying to put it in the chat now.
Yeah, there you go. I'm perfect right there. So I'm gonna put it right here too. This weekend, I'm gonna be teaching people how to do uh, how to make ads, create ads for businesses, and charge them money to create ads just using AI. No compute, no, only a laptop and your imagination. So I'm gonna be doing that on aiskill.live. That's another website where we're going to be doing that work. So I've put that in the chat right there. With if people want to learn how to be able to create ads, how to know to create movies, all of that work, that's going to be that website. So the AIBusinessMakeover.com. That's if you're like into business and you want your business makeover, that's how that is. So it's all learning and growing. AI boss moves.
So yeah, I want to give you some good shout outs, man. I want to give you my testimony about his book. This one right here. Um, he's like, hey T, man, I just got this book. Can you purchase it? I said, nah, no problem, bro. Let me go ahead to the website. I ordered it. I was thinking it was gonna be a big book because this guy know how to format his pictures and stuff, so he know how to format real well. So I thought maybe a couple hundred pages that I could bang that out. I ain't got nothing to do. It's in pandemic. Me inside. It's all good. So it was, how many pages is this? It's about 80 pages, and
Yeah.
I read it in the same day, and I mean, like, I got to know his background more in depth, like his humble beginnings, bro. Like, his background is not too much different from mine, but just in a different part of the diaspora, and it was very refreshing and very inspiring because of the stuff that you were talking about when you was from Zimbabwe and when you was watching TV, and I can relate to my testimony that I was talking about on a couple of lives ago with a lady from the Bronx, and I told her, like, look, I used to watch a lot of stuff on TV with Carnival and stuff like that in Florida, because my people they from the West Indies and stuff. I'm like, man, I don't want to be up in this sense. I had to just make one decision to change my life, and that's when I truly could say I became the CEO of my life. When it came to making the decision to make the decision to win in life, and not to be a product of my environment, not to also forget where I come from and my environment, but to be going to the next level consistently and ongoing for the rest of my life, because I don't also want to be a victim of my environment. No matter what, we can't control who we're born with, who our siblings are, what conditions we were born in, but it's our responsibility to actively change it. And that's one of the biggest takeaways from this book, especially coming all the way from the motherland,
Mm,
coming from South Africa, coming from
mm,
Zimbabwe itself, and you got over here, you came over here, you tackled this thing out, you've been doing some work, and I met you through our late friend that passed, a couple of years ago.
mm.
Just MC, which was a good guy. I met him he was grinding too. He was at Internet Mastery, because I met them because I had to go through Mr. Ginsburg. It was like about Amazon fulfillment, and it was just a lot of different workshops that I went through throughout the time. And it was just amazing. When I met him, we just clicked. And another guy from Zambia, we still
Yeah.
speak. You know, Fidelis, my guy out there, he's also in Orlando, and he talks some good stuff too. And we gotta catch up. And you guys have been sharp, throughout the years. And I've seen each one of y'all grow. And the jokes is fun. I mean, we have a good time together while you know building our businesses and staying in contact. Sometimes, again, with business leadership, we may not talk all the time, but we CEOs, we making moves. We out here, we may
That's right.
laugh, we may joke, we may hang out for a little bit, but we go right back to business and getting things done. So that's very inspiring to get your first book. It really did touch my spirit a lot, and
Right.
I want to tell my audience, I want you to go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it up on the screen for you. I got you a nice QR code for them. Okay,
Nice.
yes
I
sir.
like that.
You gonna go to the website. Go to the website. Go ahead and get his book. Learn a little bit more about him. It's 80 pages, the same day read, and
Yeah.
you won't be disappointed. It's not a dull moment in there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
True.
yeah. So man, I appreciate you coming on the live, sharing your information,
No doubt.
sharing your testimony and what everything that you've been through, and how you going forward, and your speech has gotten better over the years as well, man. Man, I appreciate it. It's
No
very
doubt.
inspiring me, and it's motivating me. I could do a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot, but I could
That's
do a little bit more.
that's what it's about.
And I can see things now. The stuff that you were saying, now I can also apply that to my private label firm, because I just started that a couple of months ago. I started it, the beginning of the year. I had maybe one or two orders. They were successful, but I need to go ahead and get in contact, get them leads, get that funnel. I have a funnel, but I need to go ahead and build out that funnel and
Mm.
get the leads, get them clients. And definitely, man, like, it's inspiring to see somebody that has the resources that can help not only myself, but they'll also bless others. So, and that's one of the main purposes of this podcast, is to be a blessing to others, bring resources to you, bring the knowledge, bring the education. We talk about multiple different topics from different people from different walks of life, and man, and this one is I believe this has been the most iconic for this month.
Right on. I
But
appreciate that.
yes, sir, man. Let me tell you something, man. We gonna get together off this live, and we're gonna get this stuff squared away. But do you have any closing remarks before the live ends?
Just one statement that I learned when I started working with John Maxwell. He said that sometimes the things that limits our thinking is the fact that we allow our thinking to be limited. And sometimes the things that limit our thinking is that we allow our thinking to be limited. That's a really big expression, because everything that we are is because of the way we think. So when we limit our thinking, we allow ourselves to be limited based on the fact that we limited our thinking, meaning that we've got to really invest in how we think. That's the biggest thing. Investing in how we think, challenging our own thinking process is what's going to change your life and mine.
Yep. And my closing remark is, man, always, like he said on his book, become the CEO of your life. Take
Right,
control of what you're doing, and I always go by this saying: once you discover how unique you are, you begin to change the world around you.
right on.
Okay, so when you discover that God-given purpose and talent, when you discover who you are in yourself, in purpose, and in God, you become unstoppable.
Right on.
Okay, is his other website. You become this force to be reckoned with. A new light shows up on you. People respect you. When you're purpose driven, not money driven, but when you're purpose
Yeah,
driven,
purpose.
everything in your life works out. It works out for the greater good. Some people may not understand your vision, your mission, your purpose, but it's not for them to understand, because God didn't give it to them. He gave it to you. And each
Right
person
on.
is unique in their own way. You using that talent and multiplying it, making it greater. Your gift to God is what you can give back to Him through your gifts and talents.
Right on.
So getting up in the middle of the night, like you said, getting up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, waking up, getting in that journal, write them ideas down. You ain't getting
Yeah.
up on purpose. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. Like I said, CJ, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a pleasure and a blessing having you on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Right on.
Also, absolutely, you'll know, like every say, like every time we say on this live. I'm sorry. Um, once, not once. I'm just a little bit all over the place today. Um, Next week we're gonna also have a phenomenal guest, and you just don't know which angle we coming from. Make sure you tune in, like, subscribe to the Royal Blossom Company on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find CJ at, how do we
Boss
find?
moves. Bossmovesai.com.
Okay, we'll find you there. This one right here, this right there, and we'll talk soon.
All
We'll
right.
see you next week at 7:30, baby. All right.